It's so loose. Sorry, my microphone's loose. Everything is a little wonky today. I got mail. I'm so excited. I got mail. My toddler drew on my laptop with a pen. So I took the opportunity to get stickers. I have stickers inside. Excuse me while I wrestle with plastic. I will also show you the other stickers that I already got the other day. Anyways, so as I was saying, my toddler drew on my laptop. So I splurged and got some stickers to cover it up. It's so cute. So first we have, "Don't make me drop a house on you." I didn't get this because I like Wicked. I got this because of Wizard of Oz. I don't not like Wicked. Don't hear that. But I have been in the musical The Wizard of Oz twice, and I am currently helping a school production of it. Ta-da. So where should I put it? There. Okay, so I'll show you what I have so far. Voila. We have Belle reading her book with your nose stuck in a book, obviously. And then we have Speak, Friend, and Enter, but in Elvish because I'm a nerd. And then we have the new one, Don't Make Me Drop a House on You. Inside my laptop, I have more stickers. Inside, we've got 2 teacups and tea bags. Yeah. And then a couple other teapots, and there's a motherhood sticker, mustache that came with something else. I think it came with like an umbrella or something, but it was a mustache and I thought it was funny. So that is not what this video is about anyways, or the fact that my hair looks insane right now, but that's okay. We're pretending my hair looks real stylish and pretty and that I don't look pale as a ghost. I do look pale as a ghost and it is fine. Anyways, hi. Hi. I'm tired. Nope. I am tired, but my name is not tired. I am Anna. This is my channel. Welcome to my channel. I don't have tea right now, but boy, howdy do I need some. I'm a mess today. Okay. Hi, I'm Anna. Welcome to my channel. I write. I am a writer. I'm trying to get used to saying that out loud. I am a writer. This video is a kind of an update and kind of a little spiel. I am in 2 Discord writing community things, and a common topic is about overwriting. I am not an overwriter. I am an underwriter. So I thought I would talk a little bit about what that is and kind of why I am, and just kind of discuss what is underwriting, because a lot of common writing advice is assuming that you overwrite, like killing your darlings, cut 10%, cut some more, like all of the editing advice, not all of, obviously, but a lot of the editing and revision advice is about cutting things out, which is necessary, yes. However, if you're an underwriter, that is bad advice. Like me, I am an underwriter. So actually cutting things is bad advice for me, because a lot of times my scenes are too short, or I don't have enough information, or there's not enough description, etc., etc. So let's start with the basics. What is underwriting? Underwriting is not writing enough. Overwriting, its opposite, would be writing too much, over-explaining, excessive details, unnecessary details, too many characters, too many POVs, too much. That is not my problem. My problem is underwriting, which is all of those things, but not enough of them. In this current draft that I am revising / rewriting, I am going through my previous draft, which is draft 4 of The Time Traveler's Hotel, which is it's technically fantasy, but it's masquerading as sci-fi. It gets explained in the book in a scene that I haven't written yet because I'm an underwriter. Okay, we've established. What I'm doing in this draft, which is draft 5, I guess, is that I'm going through my 4th draft, rewriting what needs to be rewritten, adding to what is there and what is good, and editing everything in between. I try to fix when I'm drafting, I try to fix my underwriting problem by showing and telling. I will do both. Or I will say a thing and then I will show the character doing it. I will say why that a character feels a certain way and then I will show that they feel that way. That's repetitive and frustrating for all parties involved. So I'm working on taking those out and then enhancing and adding to one or the other, adding to the telling or adding to the showing. I don't know what I'm looking at over here. So that's part one of what I'm doing. I also am adding POV scenes and chapters. In the previous draft, in draft 4, I was mostly in the head of my main character, Matt, which makes sense. He's the main character. I had 2 scenes in a secondary character's head in Eddie's perspective, but it was 2 scenes, like not even 2 chapters, like 1,000 words max. So I am adding a couple more scenes in Eddie's perspective, which is very helpful because he's kind of the outsider. Like he's kind of the normal person in the normal world, but when we go into kind of the magical world, but we don't really know it's the magical world, but it is, Eddie's the outsider. He's the normal human person. So like in our world, he's normal, but in the magical world, he's weird. Because he's in both, he knows a lot. So he's really helpful, which is why I like him a lot. And then in draft 4, I had one scene. I think it was a full chapter from another secondary character. She's the kind of the love interest. Not kind of, she is. She's the love interest of my main character, Matt. And I had one chapter from her perspective and nothing else. So I'm adding more things from her perspective because she is very, very different. She's grown up in the other world, in the magical other world. She is part alien. She's very unique looking. She has just a very different and fun, unique perspective. I have to then decide if I'm going to add another POV. I don't think I'm going to add another POV, but I do need to add at least 6 more scenes. Possibly more. I need to add more scenes because I'm realizing I have things in my head that are part of my headcanon of this story that I never actually put on the page. So those things have to be explained. And then I have to really, really make sure I don't Deus Ex Machina my ending because I tend to do that because I've explained it in my head. It is all explained and makes sense in my head, but I haven't actually gotten it out on the page and the characters don't know. So I have to make sure that happens, and I may have to make sure my ending doesn't fizzle because that's my other tendency. I swing one way or the other because I'm still new at this writing thing, kind of. I'm new at finishing the story. We'll go with that. I tend to either overdo the ending with like Deus Ex Machina type ending or undercook it and it fizzles out. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Where does underwriting for me come from? So where the roots of why I underwrite is because my first love is theater, my first creative love, my first way I really learned to do art and be expressing myself is musical theater. And so I tend to write like a script, which means I don't have enough description. I don't set the scene very well. I usually jump in with dialogue. I have to work on getting into a character's head, and I actually have to work on the navel gazing stuff that tends to be a problem for authors because I'm so my default is a script, is a visual performing art rather than a written art that is kind of more an internal experience than an external presentation. It's all that internal thinky stuff in the head of the character that I love about books. In books, you are able to get into a character's mind and hear their thoughts and their processes and their feeling. Like you're able to get into the meat of that. That is something books can do that nothing else can. It is a perk of the medium. But my default is performing. And in performing, you don't have the internal monologue, unless, it's a Shakespeare play and you just say the internal part out loud. Yep, we're going with that. So characters aren't doing soliloquies, and that is hard for me. So I'm doing that. I'm also restructuring the whole story at the moment because it is a time travel story. I am playing with the structure of it, and I am so thankful I'm using Scrivner because I can move things around. I use Scrivner for this reason, because I can move things around and merge things and split things apart and combine them in different ways and look at the overview with the corkboard feature. This is not an ad for Scrivner. This is just why I like it, and this is it for this reason. It is because of that scene in Little Women when Jo has her whole novel laid out all over the attic. You can do that in Scrivner. In the document, you can see the whole thing. Better than any other program I've ever seen. You can do that. And I need to do that in order to keep everything in check. Make sure I've got everything. I need to be able to see it all. Because out of sight, out of mind. So that's happening. So underwriting. I think the biggest problem I've heard most underwriters struggle with is the white box syndrome. And that is when you have characters talking, even characters interacting with each other and physical beats happening, them moving and doing different things, but you haven't described anything around them or what they look like or anything like that. So it is just talking heads in a white box. And that I have that struggle, and it is very painful. I am actually very, very impressed with my fourth draft that I solved a lot of the white box problems. My settings are way better than I expected. I have a couple that I need to work on, but they're not as bad as I expected them to be. I did realize yesterday that one of my secondary characters who has chapters from his POV that I'm adding to, I have never described him. So I had to embrace that and take a couple hours to just decompress the fact that I hadn't described this really important character ever, then sit down and write a very thoughtful description of him, because I know what he looks like in my head, but I've never written it down. I have a lot of that. If you're noticing a theme here, there's a lot of things that are living for free in my head that I haven't put down on the page. So we're working on that. So yeah, this is the life of an underwriter. It is unique. It also is unique as a discovery writer because once I've written something, I feel like I've done everything. That box feels like it's been checked, and I'm like, okay, and done. But it isn't all the way done because I'm an underwriter and it's very undercooked. So that's the deal. So that's kind of the struggle of an underwriter that I'm going through right now with this draft, and we'll see how it goes. I am pleased with the progress so far. So far, I have increased. Have I counted? Wait, this is going to be live. We're going to check it out. I have increased the word count from draft 4 to draft 5. It has increased. So it is working. For the scenes that I've currently written in draft 4's version, the word count was 18,000 and change. Draft 5, what I have written so far. Oh, I haven't finished that scene yet. Hold on. That's not accurate. So 18,000 and change is incorrect. All right, it's more like 17,000. So draft 4 was 17,000-ish. Draft 5 is 19,000-ish. Okay? And I already know one of the scenes I have already written needs stuff added to it. I'm just waiting to see if I have it written somewhere else and I can import it from that. That's where I'm at. Draft 5 is sitting at 19-ish. I think it's actually 20. I think it miscounted, as Scrivner does occasionally. But I am going to write more today, so that will get the word count up, obviously. So that's good. So that's where we're at. We are expanding. That's where I'm at. I'm writing draft 5 of the Time Traveler's Hotel. It is growing. It is getting more details, getting more world building, getting more character motivations and POVs and all that kind of stuff. It's getting more fleshed out. The core story is there. The core plot is established and good to go, but it misses a couple beats. And so this draft is fixing those beats and getting it to a full novel length. That was the other thing, is that draft 4 total is 40,000 words and change. I'm aiming for draft 5 to be 70,000 words. It is paced at the moment like a thriller. So it's a time travel fantasy thriller. Sound interesting? So that's where we're at. So it's still pretty fast. It's going to be on the shorter side, but I'm intending that. And I'm really excited because it is already getting me excited for a second book and what that would look like and where the story would go from here kind of stuff, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, that's life as an underwriter. It is an adventure. My air conditioning clicked on. I'd have no idea if you can hear that. It is warm today. Not too bad, but warm enough that we need the air on. Yeah, I'm going to go make some lunch. See ya.